Go.
Hey guys, welcome to Mod 130. This is Morning Boa, Mod 130 Business Basics. So as promised, this is a video going over SurveyMonkey questions 1 through 5. So you should have received on your Kindles, when you do receive your Kindles, if you haven't already, you should receive a textbook that looks like this. It's called M-Business. If you haven't received this by the end of today, definitely contact the business office at the school and let them know. If you don't know how to contact the business office, text me, let me know, or email me, let me know what's going on, and I will send them an email. Okay? Business basics. And just to let you know that I'm thinking about you guys, I still have your picture. Those of you who were in my class a couple of months ago when you gave me this to me. So I still have it. So I'm still thinking about you, and including my new students, I welcome you guys, and we'll get to know each other as well. Okay? So let's get started. Number 1, and again, this can be found on the document called Week 1 Objectives and Questions. On the right-hand side, underneath the blue bar, there's 10 questions. So the first question. And again, I'm not going to write the questions on the board because that's a lot of writing and I don't have a big board. So we'll just read it from the document. All right, number 1. What type of organizations are the National Public Radio, Habitat for Humanity, and other charities and social causes? So if you go with me in the textbook to page 3. So by the time you get through all these other pages, it actually ends up being like page 30, but page 3. All right, so page 3 in the first column here at the bottom, it says nonprofit organizations. Yeah, nonprofit. Nonprofit organizations. These are organizations that are created to not have a profit, not create a profit so that they can send it to the shareholders, share it with shareholders or the owners. All profits have to go right back into the business. Now, these can be religious organizations, they can be educational organizations, but they could also be, like Blue Cross and Blue Shield are actually insurance companies, but they are nonprofit organizations. Red Cross is a nonprofit organization. Feed the Children, Habitat for Humanity, all these are nonprofit organizations. So they have to follow certain rules, again, not make a profit, but also they have to stay away from politics and several other things that they have to it's required of them. So again, there's a lot of corruption here, but yeah, on paper, nonprofit organizations. Okay, so let's go to number 2. Number 2 asks, the study of how resources are distributed for the production of goods and services within a social system is known as what? So you need to go to page 6 for this. Page 6. And at the very top on page 6, you have some definitions here. And the very first one is economics. Economics is the study of how resources are distributed for the production of goods and services. So number 2, page 6, economics. Now, an economic system doesn't have to be as complicated as what we have here in the United States. We have a monetary system that's based on paper money that's supposed to back something of value, like gold or whatever. It's supposed to. But anyway, it could be as simple as, I have a bushel of apples, you have a chicken. Let's trade. I make apple pie, you make apple pie, I make fried chicken. And we could share. Hey, let's have dinner. It could be as simple as that. Or you come help me do my field, and I'll give you a bushel of corn. Okay? So it's as simple as that. That's actually what I'm just describing is what's called a barter system. We'll talk more about that. But the answer to number 2 is economics. Okay? So let's move on. Number 3. Number 3 is the number of goods and services that consumers are willing to buy at different prices at a specific time. Number 3 can be found on page 9. So go ahead and go to page 9. And page 9, it talks about a system called supply and demand. You probably heard about it. So the answer to our question is called demand. So let's give an example of that. The demand for toilet paper earlier this month, where people went crazy and the demand for paper exceeded the availability of the supply. And so people were going crazy and they were buying out the store. So that was kind of a hyper hysteria. But let's say, for instance, the Cabbage Patch dolls of the 80s. You guys are probably way too young to remember that, but I remember it because I tried to get one for my daughter. Cabbage Patch dolls, the demand for it exceeded the supply. But actually what they did is they limited the supply, so it made the dolls more valuable. Supply and demand. I used to justify, and again, I don't do this anymore, but I did. I one time had a rabbit fur coat. And at that time, it was not uncool, okay? But I always justified to myself, well, if I didn't have it, then somebody else would have it, and they wouldn't take care of it, and then, the poor little rabbits would be sad. But anyway, if I didn't want the coat, and if I didn't have the demand for the coat, there wouldn't be a supply of it. So just like today, it's not cool to have a rabbit fur coat, and I wouldn't do it today, but it's not cool. So there has the demand for it has drastically decreased, and so therefore you can't find them everywhere. Back then in the early 80s, they were everywhere. They were like the coolest thing. But anyway, now they're not. Same thing with minks. It's just not cool, especially when we have faux fur that is so much better than, in fact, it's cooler to wear faux fur than it is to wear faux. It's a fancy way of saying fake. But anyway, so supply and demand, the word that we're looking for is demand. That's the consumer's need to want to get it. It's their the number of goods and services that consumers are willing to buy at different prices. The more the demand, the higher price you can charge it. Gas. Right now the demand is going down. So what's happening with gas prices? Going down, right? As soon as this COVID-19 thing is over and everybody's going to go out and going to want to go somewhere, guess what's going to happen to gas prices? They're going to go right back up. You watch. So anyway, number 3, demand. So let's move on. Number 4. Number 4, the American economic system is best described as what? Now this one's going to be a little bit more challenging to find. It's on page 14. Page 14. Okay, it's right under where it says the American economy, here, in red. Right there. Okay, it's right under there. And it says, as said previously, the United States is a mixed economy with a foundation based in capitalism. Okay, so it's a mixed economy. Even though our foundation is capitalism, we do have certain aspects of socialism, and that is that the government does have their hands on certain aspects of business, such as, especially when it comes to safety, but also when it comes to being able to tax. Alcohol and tobacco is heavily taxed. so certain products, especially against safety, children's garments, the government makes sure that the children's garments are made with materials that are not, that don't melt. They're supposed to be natural materials that would just fizzle away and not melt into the baby's skin and burn the baby more. Anyway, I watched a video on that that's interesting. So anyway, number 4 is on page 14. Okay, a mixed economy.